Night bled into the small-town bus stop. Rain hissed on the tin roof. A neon sign stuttered. Motel. The air smelled of wet dust. They came in quietly. An old farmer and his wife. Mud clung to their hems. The man's straw hat drooped, heavy with rain. The woman tucked her shawl closer. "Excuse me," the old man said, gentle. "A room for the night, please." Behind the counter, the manager's red tie cut across his white shirt. Hair slicked like glass. His eyes lingered on their clothes. "We're full," he said. "A beat. Except for the cheap room." The wife smiled with relief. "We'll take it." He clicked his tongue. "Can you even afford it?" He glanced at their shoes. "Cash only." The old farmer set a small pouch on the counter. Coins chimed. "We work hard. We pay what we owe." The young clerk looked up, uneasy. The manager caught his eye and smirked. "Fine," he said. "No mess. No noise. Check out early. People like you." He paused. "Like cheap and quick." Silence lifted, thin and sharp. The wife swallowed. The old man nodded. The manager handed the key between two fingers, as if afraid of dirt. "Room 6. Don't touch the coffee machine. It's for actual guests." They walked down the damp hallway. Carpet sucked under their shoes. A fluorescent light buzzed overhead, then dimmed. The wife whispered, "It's okay. We just need a roof." The old man squeezed her hand. Room 6 was small but clean. Faded floral curtains. A heater that clicked alive after a stubborn pause. They spread their wet shawl over a chair and set their coins on the nightstand. The old man looked around the room, eyes kind, as if blessing each corner. "Do you ever wonder," he murmured, "what a man hides in his words?" The wife's brow knit. "He was cruel." "Words reveal hunger," he said, "and sometimes fear." They ate simple bread and tea from a thermos. The storm grumbled. The radiator sighed. The old man sat on the bed, hat in his lap, listening to rain trace the roof's seams. Down the hall, the manager laughed with two salesmen. "You should have seen his hat," he said. "Looked like it lost a fight with a goat." Laughter cracked. The clerk winced. Near midnight, sirens cut the rain. Car skidded into the lot. A mother rushed in with a child burning with fever. "Please," she cried. "We need a room now." "We're full," the manager snapped. "Try somewhere else." The clerk flinched. "We could." "No," the manager barked. "Not our problem." The old farmer stepped from room 6, quiet as a shadow. He saw the flushed cheeks, the frantic mother. He glanced at his wife. She nodded. "We'll share," he said softly. "Give them ours." The manager scoffed. "Why? You already paid for your cheap box." The old man smiled. "Kindness pays better." He placed the key on the counter. The child whimpered. The heater in room 6 hummed like a steady heart. The manager rolled his eyes. "Fine. Whatever." The farmer's wife wrapped her shawl around the mother's shoulders. "Go," she whispered. "Warm the child." They stepped back into the rainy night. For a breath, the neon flicker steadied, as if listening. The manager watched them leave. Unease pricked at his slick composure. He had pushed them out. So why did he feel measured instead? What had the old man seen? And why did he smile? Somewhere in the storm, a dog barked twice, then fell silent. The clerk looked down, ashamed, and slid the register shut. The rain thinned by dawn, leaving the motel lot slick and shining. The mother and child slept at last in room 6, faces loosened by warmth. The old farmer and his wife sat under the awning, sharing the last of their tea. "Your knees hurt," she said. "They'll forget by noon," he smiled. "Knees are poor historians." Her eyes stayed on the office door. He shouldn't have spoken that way. "Cruelty is a coat," he said. "People wear it when they're cold inside." The clerk unlocked the door early, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "Sir." "Ma'am." "About last night." The manager appeared behind him, chewing a mint. "If you're loitering, move along," he said. "We're running a business, not a porch." The old farmer rose. "We'll check out." "You already did." the manager replied. When you handed over the key. May we retrieve our thermos? The wife asked. He sighed. 1 minute. To the clerk. Watch that they don't touch anything. Inside, the office smelled of coffee and toner. The clerk handed back the dented thermos and hesitated. Thank you for helping the child. You wanted to help too, the old man said. I tried, the clerk whispered. You will try again. A small blessing. They stepped into a pearl gray morning. Trucks started on the highway, a low chorus. Breakfast then bus? The wife said. Breakfast, he nodded. A bell chimed as they entered the diner across the street. Warm air, butter and cinnamon. A waitress with tired eyes waved them in. Sit anywhere. They slid into a booth by the heater. The vinyl squeaked. The old man studied the menu as if it were poetry. They have honey, he said, delighted. The wife laughed softly. The waitress poured coffee. Rough weather. Rough people, the wife said, then flushed. Safe here, the waitress promised. They ate slowly. Pancakes, eggs, honey that tasted like summer found again. The old man let the warmth soak into his bones and watched the door. Expecting someone? The wife asked. Just thinking, he said, about words like cheap and quick and how they bruise the world. 2 salesmen entered, the same from last night. Damp coats, loud laughs. One spotted the couple and snorted. Hey, it's the hat. The hat travels, the old man said. So do I. The bell chimed again. The motel manager strode in, snapping his gloves. He clocked the old couple and stiffened. At the counter, he spoke low to the waitress. She listened, jaw set, gave a curt nod. He turned to the booth. You left without a receipt, he said. And we had damages. Damages? The wife whispered, fingers tight on her cup. Room 6 is fine, the old farmer said. There's a scratch on the heater, the manager replied smoothly. $50. A hush rippled through the diner. Forks paused. The waitress stepped closer, eyes fierce. The clerk rushed in, rein still on his shoulders. Sir, he blurted. About the damages. The manager lifted a hand to cut him off. The door opened again. A man in a dark coat the color of stormwater walked in, shoes leaving neat prints on the tile. He looked at the old couple first, then at the manager. The air seemed to tighten. The waitress's voice softened with recognition. Morning, Mr. Hale. The manager went pale. The man in the coat nodded once to the old farmer, as if they already knew each other. I'm sorry for the noise, he said to the room. Please, everyone continue. He removed his gloves. His eyes didn't leave the manager. We should talk, he said calmly. About what? The manager asked, trying to smile. About ownership, Mr. Hale replied, and about what hospitality means. Plates clinked. Coffee steamed. Yet every ear leaned toward the corner where Mr. Hale and the manager stood like storm and branch. The manager forced a chuckle. Ownership? Your corporate discount. Mr. Hale's gaze held steady. The sale at noon. Motel. Diner. Gas lot. He tipped his head toward the flickering sign. All of it. Silence took the room. You're joking, the manager said. I don't joke about roofs, Hale replied. He looked to the old farmer. May I sit? The old man gestured. A chair is a friend. Hale slid into the booth. The manager hovered, jaw tight. I was a bellboy once, Hale told the couple. Luggage taught me people. Last night my clerk called. I came to see. The clerk flushed. I told him what you did, giving your room. The child needed heat, the wife said. Hale turned to the manager. And you charged damages. Policy, the manager said. The heater. That scratch was logged in 2019, Hale answered. You blamed people paying in coins. Murmurs moved like wind through wheat. Are you here to scold me or buy me out? The manager snapped. Both might save the roof, Hale said. He faced the old farmer. Your name? Shafiq. Mr. Shafiq. Allow me to cover breakfast. Let the honey be earned, Shafiq said. Then let me earn it. Hale raised his voice. Coffee for everyone. On me. Soft cheers. The waitress smiled for the first time. You give away coffee like you own the place. The manager sneered. I will by noon, Hale said. But ownership without service is paper. He lowered his voice to Shafiq. There's a condition in the deed. Shafiq lifted a brow. A condition? 3 rooms kept low year-round, Hale said. For travelers who need mercy more than thread count. The waitress pressed a hand to her mouth. The clerk stood taller. Charity won't keep lights on, the manager muttered. Kindness keeps doors from rotting, Shafiq murmured. Hale studied him. You know that. Rooms grow smaller when hearts do, Shafiq said. Hale nodded. Here's where we stand. Follow the condition and apologize, or resign now. The manager's jaw worked. He glanced at the room, at Shafiq's damp hat, at the clerk's hopeful face. You can't. I can, Hale said, quiet as thunder. Because the donor wrote it so. Who? The manager snapped. Some saint with a checkbook? Hale's eyes moved to the hat. Not a saint. A farmer who brings rain with him. Heads turned. The wife's fingers tightened on the table. What are you saying? The donor's letter carried your name, Hale said gently. Shafiq. The bell over the door chimed, as if needing to interrupt. The manager stared, color draining. The waitress whispered, Sir, is that true? Shafiq looked at the steam curling from his coffee, then at the manager. He did not nod. He did not boast. He simply smiled. Hale set a folded paper on the table. A copy of the letter, he said, signed with a thumbprint smeared with soil. The clerk leaned in. You gave this place? Shafiq's voice was steady. No, I gave a seed. And what do seeds ask? Hale prompted. Rain, Shafiq said. He lifted his cup. And patience. The room leaned closer. The manager swallowed, words drying on his tongue. If he's the donor, he said hoarsely, why did he pay in coins? Why the cheap room? Shafiq's smile deepened, almost kind. Because coins ring true, and because cheap rooms show the size of a man. Which man? The manager asked. Shafiq's eyes held his. The one holding the key. The waitress drew a breath. The clerk looked at the manager's empty hands. Hale's voice was almost a whisper. Well? The manager's fingers fidgeted as if searching for a watch that wasn't there. You're making a story out of drizzle, he said. I did my job. What is your job? Shafiq asked. Mild. Protect the business, the manager snapped. From whom? Shafiq said. Cold children? Wet travelers with coins. A hush traveled the booths. Hale kept his tone even. An apology, and we move forward. The manager glanced at the salesman, the clerk, the waitress who now stood like a stubborn tree between him and the couple. He tried a grin that didn't land. Fine. Sorry you were offended. The words clattered like cutlery. Shafiq's expression didn't change. There is a difference, he said, between saying sorry to end a noise and saying sorry to open a door. You want me to weep? The manager said. I want you to see, Shafiq replied. He set his hat on the table, palm pressed to the crown. This fed my sons, he said softly. Shaded my wife. Kept sun off necks that worked beside me. A hat is a roof you carry. He lifted his palm, a faint circle imprinted there. The poor don't ask for palaces. We ask for a circle of warmth. He turned to the clerk. What did you feel when the mother came? Heat, the clerk whispered. Shame. Good, Shafiq said gently. It means you stood near the fire and didn't run. He faced the manager again. My reply to you is simple. Keep your cheap room, but keep your cheap words out of it. Rooms are small, and words fill them fast. Forks hovered, suspended like questions. Something brittle in the manager softened. He looked at his hands, clean nails, uncracked skin. Do you know what it is to start over? Every season, Shafiq said. We bury last year and trust the ground. I came here after a bank job went sideways, the manager muttered. I told myself I'd climb. I started counting people like invoices. It was easier. Numbers are neat, Shafiq said. People aren't. But only people bring soup when you're sick. Hale spoke quietly. This isn't a trial. It's a turning. The manager met Shafiq's eyes. If I apologize, really, what then? Open the cheap room, Shafiq said. Keep it warm. The manager exhaled as if he'd held winter in his lungs. He turned to the clerk. Get the maintenance log. We'll mark 3 rooms as mercy rooms. Hale nodded once. And your apology? The manager faced the couple. I am sorry, he said, voice steadying. Not that you were offended. I am sorry I made you small to make myself big. I treated your coins like noise and my words like law. Shafiq's eyes softened. The wife's shoulders lowered, a knot loosening. And, the manager added, breath shaking, the coffee machine is for guests. You were guests. I was not. A light, uncertain laughter trembled through the diner, warming as it spread. The bell chimed. The mother from room 6 entered, the child drowsy but cool against her shoulder. He slept, she whispered. Thank you. She saw the ring of faces, the manager's damp eyes, the hat on the table. What did I miss? Just weather, Shafiq said, settling the hat back on. Relief moved through the room like a sigh. Then Hale's phone buzzed on the table. He glanced down and storm returned to his eyes. We have a problem, he said. The seller just added a clause. Hale's thumb hovered over the screen. It affects the mercy rooms, he said. And it names someone in this diner. Hale read the message twice. A human clause, he said. Not about money, about duty. If we keep 3 mercy rooms, someone must be responsible. Someone who has slept in one or given one away. I slid toward Shafiq, toward the mother, toward the manager. Hale continued, and it names a supervisor, preferably the one who once failed to offer warmth so they learn to build it. Refuse and the price climbs. The deal breaks. The manager's face drained. This is a trap. It's a bridge, Shafiq said softly. Only fear calls bridges traps. The manager stared at the floor. The diner hummed. The griddles hiss, cups clinking, the child's small cough. He lifted his gaze to the mother. I turned you away, he said. You could have been out there all night. You weren't alone, the mother said gently. You were taught wrong. Now you can learn right. He swallowed. To the clerk, teach me that heat? The clerk nodded, surprised. Yes, I think that's what I'm here for. Hale folded his hands. So? The manager squared his shoulders. The performance was gone. Only a man remained, tired and young. I'll take it, he said. I'll be responsible for the mercy rooms. Not alone, Shafiq said. Stewardship is a team sport. Then teach me, the manager said. Shafiq smiled. Start with coffee. Laughter rose, unafraid now. The waitress slid an extra pot to the manager. On the house, she said. But pour it yourself. Hale tapped his phone. I accept the clause, he said. It stays. He turned to Shafiq. There's one more line. Place a small brass plate on each mercy room door. Engrave the name the donor chooses. What name shall it carry? Shafiq looked at his wife. Her shawl had dried in soft ripples, smelling of rain and honey. He took her hand. Her name, he said. Amina. A hush moved again, this time like a proper prayer. The waitress wiped her eyes with the back of her wrist. Amina Rooms, she murmured. That sounds like safety. Then it is settled, Hale said. Welcome, Amina Rooms. The manager faced Amina and Shafiq. I owe you more than an apology, he said. If you ever need a room, it's yours. No ledger. No questions. Shafiq set 2 coins on the table. Their ring was bright. Let the place learn both gifts, he said. Mercy and trade. One feeds the heart. One keeps the lights on. Together they make a good night. The mother stepped closer, child still dozing. He's cooler, she whispered. Your room saved us. Shafiq shook his head. Your love did. Rooms only hold what people bring. Hale stood. Town board meets this afternoon. He glanced at the manager. Announce the mercy rooms with me? The manager straightened. Yes. They rose. Chairs scraped like low thunder. The breakfast crowd became a small procession. Outside, the rain had faded to a bright mist. The neon sign steadied, for once without a flicker. At the door, the manager paused. Mr. Shafiq, he said, almost shy. Why coins? Why not a card? Shafiq touched his hat, the brim now dry and honest. Because coins ask you to listen, he said. Paper talks too fast. They stepped into morning. The lot smelled of wet earth. The bus rumbled at the corner, waiting. Shafiq and Amina lingered under the awning one last moment. He squeezed her hand. Shall we ride? She smiled. We already are. Question for you. In your town, what would a mercy room look like? And who would you trust to hold its key?